This weekend, the SDC Noordvaal Cup kicks off, the King Price Derby Series returns, and Cooks and Sput make some big calls tonight on Rugby on 216, brought to you by Thirsty. Hello and welcome back to Rugby on 216. We're back in studio. I'm with Sput and Cooks. We've been on the road for the past 2 weeks, first at Kes Jeppy and then at Noordsate, enjoying our rugby and having that awesome shoot in the Stellenbosch old school store. That was just amazing. But now we're back here, the weekend, a bit quieter on the schoolboy rugby front because of school holidays. But now we get back into the King Price Derby Series. Noordvaal's coming. It's lots to look forward to.
It was a good break. It was interesting spending a Saturday and not watching any schoolboy rugby. I had to give some love to the professional sides, watching some Champions Cup. But it was a good break. It's good to be back. It's good to be back in studio. But different now. We're not shooting in with old school jerseys behind us. We had kids, JP, we had all sort of people running us. We had dogs running through our shoot. We had kids running around. So it is nice to be back in studio. But I don't know about you. I'm very excited. Term 2 starts coming up this weekend. There's a lot of rugby coming. We've got derbies, Easter Fest, World of Cover, so it's a big stint coming up.
Yeah, it's amazing. Hello, first of all, Cooksy. Hello, Alex. Look, I enjoyed the outside shoots tremendously. It gives us a chance to chat to somebody else than Alex. so it's amazing, and the Gees, you know, at Kes Jeppy was, or King Edward rather, and Jeppy was tremendous. And then of course Noordsate, NMRT out of Noordsate, one of the preeminent tournaments in the country. One of the real standout weekends in schoolboy rugby. Saw some indifferent results in that first day, but the rest was absolutely amazing. Yeah, but good to be back in studio as well. It does feel like home every time we come here. So yeah, excited.
We're home. Well, let's talk about some of those fixtures then that are coming up on Saturday, the 12th of April. We'll look at the first couple. For now, and I'm going to get you guys to call all 6 of these matches to add to your tallies.
I've just got 100% last 3 games. Now I got double it. Oh, man.
You're improving, because a couple of weeks ago you were hovering around the 40% overall. Sput's still at 100, so...
First of all, you know...
Can Sput make a big call?
I'll try a big call as well, but how does Bosch get in here again? I mean, we've got
the whole fixture list.
Bosch on 216. So we're changing the shows now.
And I'm not wearing the old school jersey today, as much as I love it. But yes, Rondebosch is there, Milnerton Rondebosch, and there's a reason it's up there, and it's not because of Rondebosch, it's because of Milnerton. They beat Rondebosch last year, they beat Bishops last year, both times away for Milnerton. They're playing Rondebosch at home. I think it's an exciting one because it shows in the southern suburbs there's schools that are rising up, and it's not just the traditional big
Bosch
four
comfortably.
anymore.
First call. Bosch comfortably.
Yes.
Yeah,
15 plus.
The thing is, I mean, there'll be a revenge factor for Bosch. I mean, having lost to Milnerton, and especially at home. I mean, it's a very good game of rugby at Milnerton came and storming at the end. But it's very hard not to go against Bosch. I mean, Bosch has had some good momentum, very good at Noordsate. There's a revenge factor there. And they're going, listen, we lost this Milnerton side. And for Milnerton, they're going southern suburbs. Ooh,
yeah.
We beat Bosch.
Yeah.
We beat Bishops. Who's the southern suburbs? Power. So I think Bosch will bounce back. And I've got Bosch by 15. Bosch by 10.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, 15 plus. Comfortable win for Bosch. They're a polished outfit. They're a very good side. They're one of the best sides in the country this year. Top 3, maybe not quite, but they're definitely in the top 10 rugby sides in South Africa this year. and they'll beat Milderton comfortably, as will Garsfontein beat Helpmekaar comfortably.
So Spit's coming, making his calls early, but as the statistics show us, they're probably the right calls. It is the first match of the SDC Noordval Cup. It kicks off in that 12:30 slot on Channel 216. Helpmekaar hosts Garsfontein. Spit's coming up with his call already.
It's an interesting one. I mean, obviously, Garsfontein defending champion. Well, it was back-to-back defending champions.
Yeah.
The Helpmekaar side is the interesting one. But for me, like I look back at Northside, they got, especially that Oakdale game, they were great in that first half, beside for 10 minutes, where they leaked they leaked 2 tries, and then they fell, and then sort of Oakdale pulled away. And we talk about Northside, the NMHL to Northside being one of the preeminent tournaments is you can't give a side like that a 10-minute sniff, and then Oakdale ran away with it. But there's something about this Helpmekaar side that I feel like an upset is coming. They can upset the apple cart, but it won't be this weekend.
Yeah. They can,
I do think,
but not this.
I do think, I think it's going to be a close game at Helpmekaar. There is enough for me. I've seen Helpmekaar during Northside. I'm like, there's a good outfit there. You know, the Lawrence twins, both are going to be the Lawrence twins' father.
Yeah.
Very passionate man, very loud man on the side of the rugby field. Big fan of rugby on 216. I think but Garsfontein, I mean, it is a quality outfit defending back-to-back champs.
If you want to beat Garsfontein, right, you got to take care of Proppies van der Berg.
That's the problem.
You got to take care of him in the scrum. I haven't seen a schoolboy prop that'll be able to take care of him at scrum time. He's probably the best scrummager in South Africa at schoolboy level. He gets around the park incredibly well. He carries well. You know, I joked. I say he's like 2 bricks high, but he's also 2 bricks wide. So where do you know?
Unit.
He's not a big man, but he's a unit, like you say.
So a great nickname for a prop as well.
Yeah, Proppy. Come on, he's got to be Proppy van der Berg.
Yeah.
So, and then Garsfontein, you know, very nearly beat Polrus. They'll feel they should have beaten Polrus.
Yeah.
You know, didn't get the rub of the green, didn't, you know, finish them off when they could. But they'll be too strong for Helpmekaar, but not by much. Not by much. It is a home game for Helpmekaar. So, you know, it's not easy going to Braamfontein to Helpmekaar. It's not a easy ground to win it. So it'll be a struggle. I just feel that Gashis has been in close games now because they created a close game for themselves as well against Stellenbosch because they didn't play particularly well. And Stellenbosch will feel we should have put them away. They were leading Garsfontein by 18 points to 8 and lost 25-18. But it was the way that Garsfontein could turn it on in that last 15 when they were in trouble. They found that 5th year. So, yeah, Garsfontein, not by too much, but...
Okay, so you're both saying then Garsfontein by not too much. I want to ask you, Cooks, about a side like Garsfontein going for their three-peat, basically. How that affects a team, whether it adds a bit more pressure, whether it adds confidence. You know about teams going for their three-peats, being a Sunrisers Eastern Cape supporter, and it not turning out so well.
Good.
So,
geez, he's got a long memory when it goes well for him, man. You know, he remembers way back things that.
Can you be telling that cricket in 216 is finished?
Yeah, he's got a very select. I call it a selective.
100%.
You know,
but championship pedigree. That's the biggest thing. I think it is a confidence thing. You know, for example, let's say you're a grade 11 kid stepping into the Garsfontein first team rugby side. Now you're stepping into a side who's won the ACC Norfolk Cup 2 years in a row. If you're in matric, you've been there. You've been in close games. You've been in finals. So the confidence thing that you sort of they exude. They know like if the game gets close, we've got enough to pull it away, and it does. Again, pressure either makes tires or it creates diamonds. And I just feel like. For Garsfontein last year, last year probably one of their best last year, but as the season went on and the pressure came on, they found a way. They peaked at the right time to win the Noordval Cup. So I think for me, for Garsfontein, it's a championship heritage, championship pedigree, which you step into that. If you're a grade 11 kid, there's a confidence because the senior guys have been there. You as a kid in grade 10, you've seen them win it before. Some guys only know about winning Noordval Cup. They don't know anything else. So it's like. What is pressure? All we do is win the Noordval Cup. That's what we know. So I think for them, I don't think it's pressure. I think it's more a confidence thing.
So far, you're in agreement in the first.
Yes.
Rondebosch, Garsfontein. Then let's talk Paul Roos, Grey PE. Paul Roos, 2 matches at Noordside, both ending actually quite close in the scoreline. The second one, you feel they were a lot stronger for the first 60 minutes, and then allowing Noordjevel to crawl back a little bit, or actually quite a lot. But that first game, like you've been saying, was close. Thinking they probably won't have too much trouble with Grey PE, though.
No, they'll put them away. Not put them away, sorry, Grey High. It's the wrong word choice, but they'll win. Grey High is something special, because I'll tell you what, there's 2 games a year where they really get themselves up. It's Paul Roos and Grey College. They always play well, but they're playing at Marcotta. Paul Roos is slowly going to start integrating some of those injured players back into the mix as well. Trisby Skuman, Altus Rabi, I'm not sure they'll be ready for this weekend, but it'll sort of, just create that competition within the squad as well. So everybody will want to perform, and they'll know. They'll know, and Corner Ace will know they were not at their best against Garsfontein. It was clear for everyone to see. They did play very well against Noordjevel in that first half. They were really good. They've got 2 incredible finishers on the wing in Basson and Steenkamp. So once they get them into space, there's trouble. And then you've got Keenan Stoffels at the back as well. Dynamite comes in the small packages. He's this big. He's as tall as Proppy, but not as wide as Proppy though. But,
as well as Alex.
Yeah. So, they'll beat Grey High. Grey High will get themselves up for the game. Make no mistake. A lot of times you would go into a fixture like this and you'd say, Paul Roos by 30, but not against Grey High. Paul Roos by 12.
Okay.
Grey High is an interesting place at the moment. I mean, coming from PE, a bit of a sleeping giant at the moment, it sort of feels like. But, with Robbie Kempson down there, Director of Rugby, Matthew King coming from St Andrews College, and now being head coach there. You got Darren Nell from Cheetahs and Kings forward in the mix there as well as the forwards coach. They are building something, and it has been a quite few years in Grey's standard. It has been a few years, but they've got good juniors coming through. I mean, a good under 16 group coming in now, and this grade 11 side, under 15 is the other good side, have a good under 15 group. So they are building something, but I do think that they did a good festival. I mean, good win over Hilton. They'll be frustrated at the draw against Michael House.
Yes.
They were very, very frustrated at the draw over Michael House. But there's something that's brewing there. I still think it's the start of that pod. I think there's a grade 11 group when they get to matric next year. With this under 16A group coming now, they could start themselves being a force to be with. But yeah, I think at the Makota, it's going to be tough. I've also got Paul Roos. I've got Paul Roos by 18.
So then we're in agreement for the first 3.
So I just want to touch on a point there. Their coaching staff is brilliant, Grey High, and they analyse the opposition, and they, between Darren and Robbie and Matthew and Fenner Barnard is there, so no, they'll be very well prepped, and they had good prep with their own festival, and now they'll be there, but Paul Roos will survive.
Yeah.
So then the calls for the first 3, Rondebosch, Garsfontein and Paul Roos. We'll take a quick break now. When we come back, we'll get the gents' picks for the remaining 3 fixtures. I think maybe some tougher ones in there.
Sure. You sure? Sure.
Yeah, man, you sure?
Yes, I am sure. Look at this thing. It's presidential. What if we get caught, man? Nobody gets caught in South Africa, man.
That's true.
Now lift. I'm sure.
Don't just be sure. Be sure. King Price in sure. Insurance you can be sure about. Visit kingprice.co.za.
Honey, I think the courier guy's here.
Hier kom my bokser. Kibbies? Anna? Maar waar is die Anna?
Hey!
Wow! Wow! Maximos! Wow! Bring for me the box.
The Courier Guy, the courier behind the box.
Can you deliver something for me?
Where to?
Hey, wys vir my. Hey, wys vir my. Put this one in the Springs box.
Look at man. Hey, winner.
In a world where every second counts, will he make it on time? Out here on the streets, anything can happen when the odds are stacked against you. One man finds the will, the drive, the passion to steer his path to destiny. It's a Swift.
Welcome back to Rugby on 216. We're building up to the weekend's action on the 12th of April. Making our picks. Got 6 matches we're looking at. We've already picked Rondebosch, Garsfontein and Paul Roos to win the first 3 matches. Now we get into, I think, the tougher calls. Guys, Sput's got a 100% win record so far on the line. Oakdale, Paul Boys at the farm.
Yeah, that's the thing. That last piece, at the farm.
Those 3 words make all the difference.
Dis nie maklik op die plaasie.
Nah.
It's not easy. This is one that you know what I'm going to do, eh? I'm going to let Cooks go. I'm going to listen to what he says because my 100% record is at stake here. So Paul Boys, I backed them for a top 3 finish in South Africa. That was my big call.
Yes.
I'm very well on track with that. They're a fantastic side. But you don't go to the farm and just walk away with a win. Ask Grey College 2-3 years ago. Magnificent side, went there, drew. You know, they've toppled a lot of big names in Riversdale on their farm. So, Cooksy, you can take it away. I'll do my next 2 and I'll come back to that one because
So
I'm mulling it over.
Again, Boys I goes to the farm. We've got one of the biggest packs we've seen in the country, led by Kai Pratt. And Riversdale is a tough place to go play rugby. You know, Boys are fantastic win over Affies. But to go to the farm, it's a daunting task.
Yeah.
Everything points towards Oakdale. But I cannot do it. But I cannot do it. I cannot do it. With my old school, Boys Eye jersey, I'm going Boys Eye. Playing Boys Eye. Number 1, this jersey.
Yeah.
Old school looks fantastic.
Yes.
But statement when we said at last week, we said at Northside, and at Boys Eye side, yes, that Oakdale pack is good. But I thought the Boys Eye pack was fantastic against Affies. Fronted up as well. The back line was spectacular. Liam de Villiers in front of him. I mean, I still can't get over his performance against Rowan van der Walt where he outplayed.
Yeah.
And so for me, I have Boys Eye. I mean, I was so impressed. I think they go to the farm.
And you have the fantastic
jersey.
school jersey to back you up.
Because I don't go to Boys Eye. I might just wear this on Saturday. People were like, where you going? I'm like, I'm on my way to the farm. That's where I'm going. To the
Cooks is
farm
making
with my Boys Eye jersey.
such compelling points here. He's making brilliant points. And logic points to Boys Eye. Definitely. Logic points to Boys Eye.
But you've got a feeling.
Maar hulle gaan plaas toe. They're going to the farm. Can I call a draw?
And call it. Extra points if that happens.
Boys Eye by 3.
Okay. All right.
Boys Eye by 3. And very sore bodies on Monday.
Yeah.
All round.
Yeah, all round. Because hulle spuit jou in op die plaas.
Yeah.
They tackle you. You know what I'm saying? So, logic points to Boys Eye. I think with that big pack of forwards at Oakdale, there's still something not clicking. in that side.
Yeah.
You know, I think they're world beaters. I think they just haven't clicked yet.
Yeah.
Will they click against Boys Eye? I mean, we speak so much about their pack, but Ozzy Forster on 12 is brilliant.
Yeah.
Reinhard Viljoen at 50 is a gun. Sietje Vosloo got a man of the match.
Yeah.
They fly off on the final day at NMI Theatre North Side. So are they starting, you know, to turn the corner as a back line as well? Because that'll complete the picture. Big, dominant pack of forwards, getting forced onto the front foot, Viljoen striking from the back.
Yeah.
Boys Eye by 3.
Okay. Well, then you're both going, Boys Eye, and we continue you being on
but
level footing for the first four.
But you see what's happened here. Maybe not in this one because I let him go first. So Cooksy's obviously caught on to the 100% thing. And now he's just got it on my back, and he's riding the wave. I haven't locked it in. So I'm saying Boys Eye by 3, but I'm still thinking about it. All right.
All right. Okay. Then down in George, Outeniqua, Grey College.
Great college.
Great college. No, last year, funny enough, I remember this fixture last year where Paul Altinique was at the wrong place at the wrong time. After Great College had come out after that JP loss. But I just think tough no safe for Altinique. Tough. Probably not where they want to be at the moment. I think there are certain frustrations not going as well as I want to. Maybe could be a bit of a younger side, but I mean, obviously, always tough to go down to George, but it's very hard for me to see them pooping over Grey. So I think it'll be great.
Closer than last year?
Yeah, a lot closer.
Yes.
Yeah.
Grey College aren't on their
Grey College
rampage after losing to
Grey College won by 60 last year.
You say that, but I think they are. Because they're not happy with their NMI Theatre. They are not happy.
Yeah.
Because
Don't tell George Nico. They're like, again, I got me wrong time, wrong place 2 years in a row.
because I'll tell you what.
Let me just move that.
They might move the fixture.
They scored 64 points against JP, which was great. But they conceded 30.
Yeah.
Then they had the Noordville.
And they had the Noordville scare, which could have gone against them. They survived it. Good sides do. They survive onslaughts because there was a proper onslaught from Noordis. But I don't think they're happy. I expect maybe a personnel change or two. The Cherries have been on fire, Grey's second side. They've rampaged opponents thus far this year. And they're a side brimming with grade 11s, a very strong grade 11 group. So I expect one, maybe two changes to the starting 15 of that Grey College first side. And I think it might enhance them getting rhythm. Because that's what they're searching for, because they're playing in patches currently. You know, for 5 minutes, there was some tries they scored against JP that was out of this world. You know, the lead up. And what they got right in that game was ruck speed. They rivaled Paul Gim's ruck speed in that match. And once Grey College get ruck speed, run away. You know, you go search, because if they come forward at you with that backline, with the blitz from Bothaville, Benjamin van der Berg on the right wing, you've got the tank at centre, you've got Tariq Chambril playing good rugby. You've got Lamlam Gadezi, who is, after Harry Potter, the best wizard in the world. I mean, so you've got that. So if they get on the front foot, then that's what Outeniqua will have to stop. They'll have to stop the pack of forwards getting front foot ball. Excuse my voice. But, Grey College comfortably. Not 90 points like last year, comfortably. 15 to 20.
Okay, so closer than last year, but still comfortable for Grey College. So then for this second match we're looking at so far, Paul Boys, Grey College, then the last game. The last game, which I think will be in for potentially another sort of test match like we had with Paul Boys against Affies at Noordside. Paul Gim, Affies at Paul Gim.
Oh, I mean, that is, for me, that's the game of the weekend.
Blockbuster.
And you look at that game, you know, if you again, I said it earlier, I think in episode 2, and I said I felt like those top sides, I don't see a side, for example, maybe going unbeaten, they might knock one of each other off, and it's, the interesting thing for Paul Gim, I mean, big statements made, obviously, with the victory against Cares. not great in that first half against Monash and then pulled away at second half. And the question is, have they been tested?
They haven't.
Have they been tested? Have they been going down to the wire? And it's not a Parkham fault that they just rolled over the opponent. So at Afi side, I still think there's a lot in that tank, and after having lost the boys' eye, a game there where they had chances to win it, I think Afi's goes down to Paul and wins it.
That's a big call.
big call.
I like that.
I'm not like Sport.
Yeah.
He just picks, like, oh, I'm gonna pick the homes. I want to pick this. Make the big call.
So he's...
Have I lost every big call I've made? Yes. But eventually...
That's not a...
One's going to fail.
But then that's not a big call. That's just a stupid call. If you continuously make the wrong big calls, how's it big call? Okay, I'm going to
maybe I have 100% loss on every big call I've made. I get it. But it's not going to stop me from making big calls.
Yeah. So you've got this thing going of eventually I'll get one right. So listen, you've made up my mind here, all right? I'm going to join you on a big call. It's just not going to be that one. So, Evolchem beats Afi. Not by much, but the difference between those two sides, what is the difference? 11 to 15.
I mean,
on the Gim side, is better than Afi.
Yeah.
And we got Marcus Miller at 13.
When we speak about it, we was at 13.
Got Marcus Miller there. Got Quentin Potgieter at 8, who's another superstar. Man from the Koue Bokkeveld. Quentin Potgieter. He grew up, their farm is also where Brayton Paulson grew up.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So comes out of the same area. Paulchem will beat Afies. Not by much, but they'll win. Join you on a big call. Oakdale wins on the farm.
So
I said to you, I haven't locked it in. I told you. So let me because I get this. I get this from Cooksey. I mean, he feels threatened now. So now he's bringing in the big shots. So I'll make a big call. I fell into his trap.
Okay.
Oakdale beats Boys Eye on the farm. Gim beats Afies.
You were saying at the farm. Those are the big three words for that Oakdale Pearl boys. So I think you've gone with what you felt.
And I want to explain it why I really think Oakdale has a chance. They play very similar styles. They play very similar styles. So Boys Eye, and I have to give credit where credit is due. Boys Eye have definitely added to the way they play.
Yeah, with Neil de Bruin.
With Neil de Bruin there, helping out Shawnee Erasmus. They've got a very competitive pack, but they've definitely added something on attack. There's deception in the back line. There's dummy runners. There's angle changes. So they're really, really good. So Oakdale wins on the farm, but by 3.
And then I want to remind you, you've gone Paul Gim having an old school Afies jersey at home. So that you've worn on the show before.
Guys, listen, you've got one big call out of me here.
You must choose one.
But isn't it amazing how tough it is?
Yeah.
Geez, guys, our schoolboy rugby is good.
It's tough right now because you've only made a big call.
And
now it's tough.
It
wasn't tough 2 weeks ago.
It was easy. It was easy. When you're clever, it's easy. Right? And I still, you know what, I'm sitting here and I still actually haven't made up my mind. I can't. So, because even the first fixture.
Yeah.
Anything, I won't be shocked if Helpies wins it out. Last year, Garsfontein didn't have a great STC Noordwal start.
Yeah.
So it wouldn't be a massive shock if they win. The only massive shocks if somebody wins this weekend will be if Outeniqua beats Grey College.
Yes.
And if Grey High beats Paul. But the other 4 games can go either way. It's amazing.
It's incredible the standard of school rugby we have at the moment. And I'm glad you guys have disagreed on 2.
Yeah.
That gives us something to look forward to next week, and we'll see how the percentages change.
And I'm pretty comfortable. I'm pretty sure I might be wrong on both this weekend because, like I say,
Cooks is banking on that.
Yeah.
So one of you can go 6 from 6. It's going to be interesting to see how it shifts the running totals.
But you know who's in trouble so far this year? Every side Cook's backs. I'm not so
Especially
sure.
between minute 20 and 80. And
They're in trouble.
Well, then, at the end of all that, both the guys have picked Rondebosch, both the guys have picked Garsfontein, both the guys have picked Paul Roos. Then there is dissent on Oakdale and Paul Boys. Both have picked Grey College, and then also one going either way for Paul Gim and Affies. We're going to take a quick break now. When we come back, we're going to pick the brains of Spud and Cooks to get some more technical insight into some of the lineouts we saw at Noordside.
Some things you don't choose. They choose you. A name, a history, a legacy that came long before you and will last long after you're gone. It's not just about the game. It's the moments that shape you. The early mornings, the long bus rides, the chants that never fade. The friendships, the rivalries, the feeling of being part of something bigger. It's a belonging. Something you carry with you wherever you go. Because once you're a part of it, you always will be.
Sure. Sure. You sure? Sure. Sure. Sure.
Yeah, man, you sure?
Yes, I am sure. Look at this thing. It's presidential. What if we get caught, man? Nobody gets caught in South Africa, man.
That's true.
Now lift. I'm sure.
Don't just be sure. Be sure. King Price Insure. Insurance you can be sure about. Visit kingprice.co.za.
In a world where every second counts, will he make it on time? Out here on the streets, anything can happen when the odds are stacked against you. One man finds the will, the drive, the passion to steer his path to destiny. It's a Swift.
Welcome back to Rugby on 216. In the first bit of the show, Spud and Cooks gave us their picks for 6 exciting fixtures coming up this weekend, Saturday, the 12th of April. Now, guys, we're going to look back at Noordside. Pick your brains because you coached school level, all sorts. You guys have seen it all, done it all. So we want to pick your brain technically about lineouts this week. At Noordside, we saw a couple of them. There are a couple clips to look at.
I'm 5'4". I want to say about the lineouts, sir. I want to talk about lineouts.
How many
here.
matches have you commentated?
Let's go.
Like 450?
424.
424 matches you've commentated as we speak now. So you've seen many lineouts in your time.
I have.
So you can talk us through this. And we'll start with the side that you're not backing for this
May I
weekend.
just get an opportunity here? I'm raising my hand. I want to look into the camera and say, Affies, I really love you. Ruan, Reino, all of you guys, they're my mates. They're such great people. I feel like, you hit a nerve when you said, what about my old school jersey and stuff? It's just, business is business.
I don't think anyone can be mad at you, a grey boy wearing an Affies jersey on the show before you've worn a grey
abandoned
jersey.
him very quickly.
Yes.
Affies, my friends, Rowan, and the guys, I love you. Invite me back to the orphan, please. Send me a jersey.
You see, he's there. He's on top form today. So
We'll see next week because the matches still have to be.
I'm really looking forward to these clips though, and I know some of the lineouts that you're going to share is from Affies.
Yes.
Because one thing, I might back Paul Gim to win, but nobody at schoolboy level Maul's better than Affy.
Always.
Nobody.
And that's what we're going to start with because Affy's maul is so good. I've got 2 clips here to start with of their maul. And on both of them, they win penalties almost straight away because their maul is so powerful. To be able to defend it without infringing is quite tricky.
Very tricky. What I found what they did so well in this first clip, I mean, it's a great attempt at a sack from boys up, but they were able to. One of the hardest things is when the jumper's getting sacked, to be able to tell the jumper, you can't let him go. So once if the rubber comes early enough, you can let the jumper go, let him get sacked, then the maul carries on by itself. And they do it so well where the jumper does get sacked, but the maul sort of tries to stay alive, and then obviously they come from the side and they get penalized for it. But it just shows at the timing and the precision, because most times what happens is once the jumper gets sacked, the jumper then goes down with the ball, and then then everything is gone. But they're down, jumper gets sacked, but rubber's got it, and then you can sort of play from there.
So you know what people forget about the maul? First, you need a good throw.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because look at what they've had. Yeah, they've had back ball. Okay,
Which is not easy.
6 and 8 is so easy to maul from. Because remember, how does your opposition set up at line out time? They'll have their 2 props, their 2 big heavies, one right at the front and one in position 3 or 4. That's where their props will be. So your initial impact in the maul is against loose forwards at the back. All right, it's against loose forward. And remember, you can set up your jumper where you want him to set up. So it can be a big lock who makes initial contact with a flankers or the 8th man and sort of wins the hit like you do at scrum time. And then it's all about formation, all right? You see a lot of sides. So what? This is interesting to me. You see a lot of drives these days from front ball as well, which you never saw, all right?
Literally, this clip here is the second clip, and they move to the front and they do it in the front. Yeah.
Okay, but that's also nice because it's movement.
Yes.
All right, so what are they doing? They're manipulating where they want to strike. Okay, look at that. So he came from back to front to take it, got in front of the jumpers, and they, set them all from there. But it's about movement and accurate throws. That starts it off. So you see a lot of sides driving from 2 because they have to, because they don't trust themselves to get back ball or middle ball. Yeah. So they go to the front because it's a safe option. But it's not always the best drive option in the front.
But then let's talk about how you can defend.
Probably Bosch, eh? Bosch defending, sorry.
It was easy to find in the same match. Josh O'Neill causing all sorts of chaos. This one, the ball goes over the line, held up, it's turned over. So that's a sort of example of how you can stop them all legally.
It's an interesting one, eh? Because you once you decide you're going to do that, you better get the ball. Yeah. Because you're putting yourself in a position where you can't be part of the defense of that maul if you're that upright. You know what I'm saying? Yes. So if Josh Neal does brilliantly, by the way, and I mean, he is a class act. But if you look at it, the moment he goes there,
on the ball,
he's on the ball, but had he not been on the ball and he misses it and the transfer gets done, he's not helping to defend.
Yes,
because he's just stuck. He's upright. He can't go back down. So brilliantly done, but you've got to be very, very sharp on getting in on that ball.
From a Jeppe point of view, the frustrating thing, it's a bit of a technical issue for them because you look at the jumper, and sometimes if a side's not contesting, obviously, you can't obviously keep the jump in the air forever. But, most sides, you get him up there, you hold him for a split second or two, allowing your guys to come around, just buy them a little bit more time to come around when the other jumper's coming down. Yeah. It does get caught a little bit too high. Maybe being able to, as he sets, most jumpers, you want them to set a little bit lower, so as the ball can get it, so you can literally put the ball down low, because Josh does come up and almost gets it about tummy height. Yeah. So that, which is, that means the ball's stuck here. You're allowing someone like Josh with long levers, he can come. And once Josh's arms get there, it's a mess already. Yes. Because even if he doesn't, let's say for example, like Dave, he gets first prize is, something like Josh, first prize is get your arms on the ball. That's gold. Yeah. Even if you don't even win it. And now, but he goes above and beyond and ends up winning the stops. But if you drop the ball, it disrupts the flow already. That's all you want to do is disrupt the flow of a maul. But you know, me sitting at 10 is once a maul is set, there's nothing you can do.
Yeah.
So now he does. So Jeppe was, if the guy just puts his arms down a little bit lower, or as he lands, just land a bit lower, be able to allow the ball to go back to the ripper.
Yeah.
He comes in, and then, for example, it stops a guy like Josh coming, because now what he does is, all the lifters come in, yeah, the problems, there's a pop, but they're like, oh, the ball's here, it's on top of you. And I was like, oh, thank you.
You know what's brilliant at maul defense? Noordheuvel, against Great College. They got out. Like you say, they didn't always get to the ball, but it was just arms. It's messy. You could see the Great College pack forwards getting so frustrated because every time it's arms this side, and it's, you know, they defended that maul so well, as did Bosch here in this case. And if you go and look at that match was a lot closer than the scoreline suggests.
Yes.
At a stage, it was 19-12 to Bosch, I think, at half-time. But they were better in the little technical things of the game. Yeah. They were better than Jeppe. And kudos to them. And I still believe, and I still believe they are one of the sides that are going to cause a semi-upset by beating one of the big boys in the Western Cape this year.
All right.
This is a frustrating more and look at it. Jeez.
Yeah,
well, we've looked at some clips of Rondebosch and Affies. We've got two more clips from each, one from each, just showing disruption at the line-out, at an opposing team's line-out, causing a bit of chaos. There, Affies stealing that one. And then we have also a clip of Rondebosch afterwards to look at where it's a similar thing, not actually stealing it, but disrupting it enough that Jeppe don't get clear control of the ball, and then eventually actually knock it on, as you'll see here. Right there, so they knock it, and then it's a scrum advantage to Rondebosch. So when you're in that line-out, and it's an opponent, sometimes teams don't contest, but now there's a bit more incentive to contest, because if you don't contest and it's not straight, it's still play on.
Is this not the argument?
So we won't go into that, but we'll just say that, and you can talk us through like what is important to achieve when you go up.
So it's brilliant here from, especially in this Rondebosch clip, is obviously it's a 4-man, so they've gone full-on shadow defense mode, where shadow is basically where, like, for example, we look at Josh and the guys there, he's watching the guy in front of him, the other jumper's watching the guy in front of him. Yeah. So if he goes forward, I'll go forward. If they go back, I'll go back. So you're just shadowing what they do, and then again, he goes on speed. And some sides, you look at like the Paul Boys clip, they will go, the Office clip, they'll set a base. Some guys will go part in the front, maybe it's a one-man lift, part in the front, where they just goes up regardless, then you're forcing the hooker to sort of throw over, and then you'll have a roaming pod in behind. So for me, what the previous clip with the maul and now with Rondebosch is the 2 times I've gone shadow defense is backing the system, but we'll be able to get there quicker than they do. I think the frustrating thing with Jeppe there, they shouldn't have done it. Because they haven't done it, bought them enough time, but now Josh is slightly taller than the jumper. Then as you come up, because sometimes if you're calling, the best thing about calling a line out is that you're proactive, because you're calling, you know what the call is. In the shadow, if you shadow line out defending, you're always reactive. And you're hoping for the best. And sometimes, if you don't bite for the dummy, it's almost the best, because like, I swear that Jeppe gets to the game for the dummy, and he goes up, but if they don't bite for the dummy, now you're going, oh, now we're in a one now. I'm slightly taller, and you go, oh, and I'm in deep trouble. Yeah. So I think from there, what Josh does and Rondebosch, it's a brilliant display on how to shadow defend the line out.
I think what's so important once again is that movement from both sides. You're talking about shadow, is no, it's a down. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? When am I moving? And then also the agility of your locks or of your jumpers, you know? It's not just about the height, it's about the timing, it's about how quickly you get in the air. Because that wasn't a bad jump from Jeppe. Not at all. They actually got higher than Josh Neal. Maybe the throw could have been slightly higher and they would have taken it. But Josh got slightly in front of them.
Yes.
And that's the key. He's a brilliant line-out jumper, by the way, is Josh Neal, because of that. You know, it's that little arc forward when you're jumping. Because if you're leaning back, you're just giving that guy the chance to get in front of you. So it's a lot more technical than people think. There's lots of facets in the line-out to take into consideration. But that was really good from Josh Neal.
And also, especially in a format like this, for example, like if you have a good jumper such as Josh Neal from a good contester, it's easy to go shadow defense because you can see he knows how to read the line-outs. He moves well. Sometimes you don't have as good. So you go, you know what? I'm just going to put someone in the front
and go
force the hooker force the hooker to throw over. If he hits a back ball 10 times out of 10, you go him off the game and you go, well played, but you have a good throw. And interesting enough, with JP now looking at we've seen Fundega against Kez with it, and again against Gray, we keep getting back ball after back ball, and you're like, where was the back ball now? For example, that's interesting.
But that's so important what you're mentioning there, and that's why hookers play such a big role. Back ball is brilliant attacking.
Yeah,
because what do you immediately do? And I'm speaking about a full line out. You take out the loose forwards out of the defense if you throw a back ball and you continuously throw it there. All right. So putting that pod in the front is a gamble for a side on defense. It's a massive gamble because if the hooker is good enough to throw those back balls, your backline's tackling all day, mate.
Yeah.
and you know, they've got a job to do. So, you know, it's those little byplays that people don't always think about. So almost to me, if a side throws at 2, as the defensive side, I'm winning.
Yeah.
I'm winning all day long because it's not great attacking.
You kind of feel like if they do more, it's easy to push them out.
Yeah.
But if they do play from 9's got a longer pass.
It's got a longer pass to make, first of all. And also, what have you got? You've got your loose forwards.
Yeah. And they're all coming up.
They can join the line much quicker. You know, so and this is the thing. The best of the best at schoolboy level. The 4 or 5 sides fighting it out this year for top dog is those technicalities start playing a big role. Who's got the best line out? Because from line out, it's a statistical fact that is your attacking platform. Best attacking
platform.
Absolutely. Well, you've been talking about the technicalities, the timing, all of that. So I want to show you two moves we saw at Noordzee. The one is just to sort of
Rondebosch and who else? Who's the other?
Boys.
Okay, and Rondebosch.
Rondebosch, just because I want to clarify the law here, and we're going to see that the receiver, the player in the receiver position, swaps with Josh Neal, and that is allowed. Anybody in the lineup can swap positions with anybody else in the lineup before the ball is thrown, which is what they do. You will often see teams, if they do it, put a hand up to show that they're running out. The player that's running out puts their hand up. And the side that's really good at this is Pearl Boys. When I've refereed them before, the player that runs out shouts and says, I'm receiver, and puts their hand up to make it obvious that they've got out. So this is just to explain the law. Now, let's look at Pearl Boys and how well they did it.
Yeah, the moment of the tournament.
Oh, that's brilliant.
And this leads to a try, so we'll let it play through to the try. But just
it has been mentioned that he might be the shortest lock in World Rugby history, Liam de Villiers. But that was sleek.
Everything you guys mentioned: the movement, the timing, the technicality. It's just, and the hooker throwing laser-like.
Oh, that was special.
It's just a big gap.
I love lineouts because I love the deception and the art. And it's like same as you play 10. You love calling set pieces or dummy runners. And lineouts as a forward, that's the time when you can also have good deception. But for me, my favorite part of that, you leave the throw and Liam de Villiers coming in. It's the attention to detail from the guys doing the dummy.
Yes,
they're doing it as if the ball is coming to them. They're going back. They're setting. Because sometimes some players, when you know the nine's coming as a move, they slack off a little bit, then they don't move back.
They sell it. They sell it. You can see it.
But they sell it properly, and that buys them selling it. Opens up that gap. If they don't sell it, and they're going like Oaks walking. If a guy's sharp, he's like, okay, I'm going to go across. But the way they sell it opens up that gap. Liam de Villiers goes straight in. I mean, that's brilliant.
No, that was slickness personified. That was I was in comms for this one, and you just smile. When you see something like that, it's just a really good moment, and
plays like that. But I mean, that comes up once a game.
Yeah.
Because then now you're watching it up with and when you get it right, it leads to a try. Oh,
But also, what does it do? You get it right that once. Yeah. You get it right. You get it right that once, and now, as you say, people are looking for it. But now it's easier to move to do that.
They're watching all these. He might come in here, so they're watching all these things exactly.
And now you can just play middle ball. Thanks for coming.
And that's the beauty of set pieces, which I think a lot of people don't always realize, is that there's so much at play with set pieces. So I think that's a nice one to end on. Thanks for the analysis, guys. We are going to take our final break of the show. When we come back, we have the impossible truth.
And a Ronde Bosch clip.
Some things you don't choose. They choose you. A name, a history, a legacy that came long before you and will last long after you're gone. It's not just about the game. It's the moments that shape you. The early mornings, the long bus rides, the chants that never fade. The friendships, the rivalries, the feeling of being part of something bigger. It's a belonging, something you carry with you wherever you go. Because once you're a part of it, you always will be.
Sure. You sure? Sure.
Yeah, man, you sure?
Yes, I am sure. Look at this thing. It's presidential. What if we get caught, man? Nobody gets caught in South Africa, man.
That's true.
Now lift. I'm sure.
Don't just be sure. Be sure. King Price Insure. Insurance you can be sure about. Visit kingprice.co.za.
In a world where every second counts, will he make it on time? Out here on the streets, anything can happen when the odds are stacked against you. One man finds the will, the drive, the passion to steer his path to destiny. It's a Swift.
Welcome back to Rugby on 216. We have just a couple of minutes left in the show, and in this part of the show, we do Ask the Ref and the Impossible Truth. Starting with Ask the Ref, I put up on my story asking people to send in some questions that they have about school rugby, and you guys have picked from the list of answers that came through. So let's hear them.
I just need to make an observation first.
You always do in this segment.
I just need to make an observation here first. Is obviously, we've got a pretty stringent budget on this show because we're playing Ask the Ref. Why don't we have a ref in studio? Why can't we bring a ref in so that we ask him the question?
I just love that.
Because there's some guys in the Marty's Young Guns coaching staff that can't understand why we're asking him, you know? No, I'm just kidding. No,
Alex, he's going to get you this every single week.
It wasn't funny the first time I heard it.
He's actually a very good referee. For those of you at home that didn't know it, I mean, he doesn't look the part, but he's a very good. He's a very good.
How do you look the part?
You know, there was such a special moment actually at NMI Theatre in Noordside because he was there, you know, doing interviews and stuff, dressed very casually, and we knew he was going to go referee the Young Guns, Marty's versus Northwest University Eagles, just next door at Kutsenberg. Next moment, in walks Alex, full kit and webbing. Tie, chinos, nice pants, very, very professional. It's actually a cool moment.
It's a good sign.
I like the one question. I'm sorry, I cannot pronounce the name that asked the question, but can you catch a mark inside your in-goal area?
It's a very good question. Yes, you can. You can't take it from inside. You have to then take it in line with where it was on the 5. So like if you get a penalty or something in goal, you take it on the 5. But yes, you can take a mark.
So
from the 22 to the dead ball line, anywhere there.
So this is something that, and like you've mentioned, I've commentated the odd game and I played a bit, not a lot, played a bit. The in-goal area is misunderstood a lot of times because people will say there's no rules in the in-goal area. Or what is the rules?
A forward pass is still a forward pass. You still offside at a kick. You just don't have offside lines at a ruck if it goes in because the ruck's over. So that's where it comes from. Those things end once the ball's in goal, like a maul, a ruck, a scrum. But everything else remains.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah. And then obviously there are a couple of different things about who takes the ball back and if it's ground or whatever, but that's not different laws. So yeah, you can take a mark in goal and you can take a mark off a penalty kick, off a free kick. Doesn't matter. Yeah.
My question is simple to talking about lineouts. When does a lineout end? You know, sometimes with the viewer, you do see some lineout more and the refs saying, wait,
then lineout over.
And then when is a lineout over?
It's an interesting one. And we do that. We say wait because if the ball's thrown in, the lineout ends if the ball then leaves the lineout, so it gets passed out. So that will be straight away, it's over. If it goes beyond the 15, and if it's thrown and looks like it's going beyond the 15, both teams can charge already, even if it hasn't yet passed.
You see those, you still have the back
if it stops before, then they must just go back. But that's something people don't know, is that you can start charging if you think it's going to go over the 15. So if it's out, if it's passed out, it's beyond the 15. If it goes into the line out and then goes into the 5, so the player comes into the 5, then it's also over. If a maul forms, it's not over, still a line out and a maul at the same time. It's over if then the maul moves past the mark of touch. If a ruck forms, it's not over unless the ruck also moves past the mark of touch. So you can have a really weird situation where ruck forms straight away, and then not everyone in the line-out joins the ruck. So they have an offside line at the ruck, and everyone else has to stay back 10, which is weird, but I've not seen that. And then if the ball becomes unplayable.
But you see, this is where I go. Sometimes the rules in our wonderful game is confusing.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because, and the laws, I say rules, the laws. I'll be able to convince the referee that I was charging because I thought it's going over the 50. You see, it leaves space for interpretation.
It does.
Yes.
Because
which is a skill.
As a fly off, I'll go, okay, he's throwing it at 6.
Actually, there's more to the law.
Okay.
So the attacking team.
But wait, there's more. But tell us the more then from the start.
So, well, I like to not overwhelm with information because it's a lot. But the defending team, so the team not throwing in, can only do that if the attacking team does it first. And the attacking team, the one throwing in, they'll know if it's trying to. So then they can go, and then if you see they go, you can also go.
So if you're defending side, you charge early both sides.
Yes.
Yeah. So you must wait until the lineout is over, or if you see the attacking team start charging because they know they're throwing one beyond the 15, then you can too. Cool. Brilliant. We'll have hopefully then some more questions next week, but now time for the impossible truth. I lost my first one last week, so I'm only at a 75% so far for the season. 3 out of 4, and I'm hoping to claim it back today. Otherwise, the percentage is just going to become worse and worse.
Yeah, I think you're in trouble. I think you're in trouble today.
So Sput now figured with the season being about Braga School holidays, we'll do a ref edition of Impossible Truth. So, Andre Watson,
yes,
Mark Lawrence,
yes,
and Craig Joubert are the only South Africans to have ever refed a World Cup final.
Okay.
Jaco Piper played at 9. For Grey College's Cherries.
Okay. So you know when you tell me that I need to say 1 week, you're looking forward to the week where I say, I know this? Like I can just tell you the answer because I actually know it and I haven't had to work it out.
Is it this week?
In 1995, Ed Morrison refereed the final. In 1999, Andre Watson. In 2003, Andre Watson. In 2007, Alain Roland. In 2011, Craig Joubert. 2015, Nigel Owens. 2019, Jerome Garcias. 2023, Wayne Barnes. So, Andre Watson is the only man to have refereed it twice. And Craig Javert the only other South
You know,
African.
I'm gonna
So
get
Mark
you-
Lawrence never did.
He was just born in 2006, Alex. We tried to catch him as he was all played. That was all played. That was all played.
Do you think he uses it as a game?
No.
Seeing how quickly he can stay all the World Cup final referee.
We waited to see where you get. I think that's all played. We tried to putting out thought we could trick you in your own domain.
And Jaco Peyper did play for the Cherries at scrum off, and he actually played 6 or 7 games for the Great College first side as well at number 9 for a serious knee injury. Took him to referee. Told a funny story the other day. He said JB Hackett, I don't know if you guys, if the name rings a bell, he played for the Lions at scrum off. He actually captained them at a stage. So he was the first team scrum off, and Jaco Peyper's here. And Jaco said, luckily, JB was pretty naughty at school. So he got left out of the side on some occasions, and Papes would come in and he'd get his first team starts.
Oh, well, that's one way to do it.
Yeah.
There we go. 4 from 5 then, so that's happy. The percentage improves. Guys, you've made some calls for next week. So in the next show, we're going to be looking at that, looking at your percentages. Thanks so much.
Oh, how much percent? What's his percentage right now?
See you next week.
I want to know.
See you next week, Alex. We'll see Sport next week.
It's
No
hovering
need
at
for
the
this.
60s.
It's going up this weekend.
It's going up. All right.
I'm still thinking about Oakdale and Fall Boys, guys.
Sput's going to keep thinking. We're going to see what happens in the match. On the 12th of April, the King Price Derby Series returns. The SDC Noordval Cup kicks off, and you can catch all the action on Channel 216. We'll see you next Tuesday at 7. But for now, bye-bye.